Welcome to this basic training video or webinar. The subject is the TDX TDX Black Edition head-end system. The purpose of this short video is briefly shown on screen. This is intended for first-level basic introduction or training. The duration is approximately 20 minutes when played back without stopping. However, you may pause or rewind the video playback at any time if you need more time to read the pages. This is where a TV head-end fits into the food chain of a total distribution network installation. Please refer to other training videos for information on other parts of the installation. Let us briefly look at some of the key points of the TDX Black Edition. The product family enables an unrivaled price-performance ratio, when considering full value of ownership. An intuitive user interface, and the ease of installation, saves valuable time and provides full scalability. A flexible system configuration, and modular structure, provide for a future-proof system. The TDX pool technology can handle multiple inputs and multiple outputs, all at the same time. A perfect solution, especially in case the customer chooses to upgrade in several steps. The remote access lowers cost for upgrades and service level agreements. A hot swap functionality reduces downtime, and even enables local staff to perform changes. And finally, the ultra-low power consumption reduces running operating costs, and supports environmentally friendly requirements. The TDX TDX Black Edition is an active device. It requires signal feeds to work. It is a modular product. You can build from very small to very large head-end installations. You only install and pay for what you need. Feature licenses lets you choose extensions as you go along. A TDX system can be extended at any future time, both in terms of inputs and outputs and in terms of features. The TDX Black Edition head-end is a very compact unit. It can be wall-mounted, but several units does also fit easily into a 19-inch rack. Cables and connectors are hidden behind a lockable front door, so that cable clutter is avoided and authorized access is secured. The characteristics of the TDX TDX Black Edition head-end at a glance are: it keeps the concept of input signals and output signals completely separated. Incoming encrypted signals can be decrypted, and outgoing signals can be either free-to-air or can be re-encrypted. All selected input signals are available in the TDX pool, for use on any type of output. All configuration are done via a web browser GUI. It can be done both locally and remote. The TDX has many standard features freely available to all users. In addition, some advanced features are available via flexible activation licenses. Once activated, via a one-time only fee, a license is perpetual and it never expires. The TDX head-end is designed to be used for hospitality and other private networks. The focus areas are hotels and conference centers, hospitals and public buildings, large apartment buildings, settlements, small towns, and villages. Now let us have a bird's eye view of the TDX pool. This is the TDX pool. It revolutionizes head-ends because it makes inputs and outputs independent upon each other. All input signals are fed into the pool. The input signals can be converted into any output signal and assigned to any output module you want. And one input signal can also be assigned to several output modules. All this without changing modules. Let us look at an example TDX head-end configuration. A free-to-air multiplex is received from the satellite via a front-end input module. TV and radio services in that multiplex are individually selected and placed into the pool. Any of the services can then be picked up from the pool and configured and multiplexed onto a selected back-end output module. Alternatively, an encrypted pay-TV multiplex is received from the satellite via a front-end input module and is also placed into the pool. The TV or radio service can then be picked up from the pool and is decoded on the CI slot via a conditional access module, also known as a CAM. The decoded service is placed back into the pool. Finally, the decoded service can be picked up from the pool, and configured and multiplexed onto one or more backend output modules. Up to 16 input modules can be added in any mix as required. Up to 6 output modules, the modulators, can also be mixed as required. In addition to the input-output modules, the TDX headend is equipped with SFP connectors that provides an RJ45 or fiber LC connection for use with IPTV in or out. The TDX headend is very scalable, and up to 3 headends can be cascaded, and still be managed and configured as one single unit. The TDX offers 5 different types of input modules. Most common is the satellite DVB-S and S2 input module. Also a terrestrial DVB-T and T2 input module. And finally, a DVB-C cable TV input module. For non-DVB input in addition, the HDMI and the composite video with audio input module. In addition to these input modules, the TDX also offers the possibility to receive an IP multicast. The input modules are easily configured thanks to the intuitive interface. You simply set the receiving parameters, and then you wait while the module searches. Finally, you select the services you need from the list. Let us try it. At DVB-S and S2 you set the transponder multiplex frequency, the polarization, and the symbol rate. Press the Update Search button, and then select desired service or services. At DVB-T and T2 you set the channel plan and channel or frequency. Press the Update Search button. Then select desired service or services. At DVB-C, you set the channel plan, channel or frequency, and modulation. Press the Update Search button. Then select desired service or services. At HDMI and audio video, you set the required bit rate, the video codec, the audio encoding, and finally enter your preferred service name, or just accept the offered default name. Click the Update button, then select the service, and finally at IP-in, you only have to set the input IP address you have gotten from your IP provider, and the corresponding UDP port. Now click the Update button. Then select desired services in the IP stream. Finally you click the Apply button. This saves the configuration into TDX memory. The TDX supports the CI standard. Optional CI slots are used to insert common access modules, also known as CAMs, for decrypting of coded channels. The CI slots are physically mounted on output modules in pairs of 2. CI can be configured in 2 different modes, pool mode and transparent mode. The CI system also provides the TDX with system date and time information to sync the cams and subscription smart cards. The configuration of the conditional access is also very easy. Choose the input source mode, either pool or transparent. Pool mode will allow you to select a single service, all services, or individual services in the pool. In transparent mode, the entire and complete signal from that input will be routed directly to the cam and it will not go to the pool. The card speed should be set according to the specification of the cam and smart card. Default is 50 megabits per second. Beware that a DVB-S2 multiplex may require a higher speed. You may select between 72 and 96 megabits per second. When in pool mode, you select the services you want here. Finally, you decide how to handle errors. Per default, no action is taken. If you check mark a service here, it means that the cam module will reset after 1 minute of failing service. Resetting a cam is known to be a very efficient way of maintaining functionality. Note that all services passed through that cam will be down during the reset. Using this feature may save you a long driving round trip to reset the cam manually. These options are for non-audio video cam settings. Now submit your selections and apply them to internal TDX memory. The TDX offers 4 types of modulator back-end output modules in addition to IP output modules. They all provide 4 adjacent channels on the RF output. The 4 types are analog PAL, with and without CI slots on the back-end board. The PAL output module is also available in a version that will downscale a high-definition signal to a standard definition signal. QAM, or DVB-C, with and without CI slots on the back-end board. And COFDM, or DVB-T, with and without CI slots on the back-end board. Finally, an IP out module is available for IPTV, SPTS streams that will allow as many IPTV channels that can be collected within the backend's maximum throughput of 750 megabits per second. In addition to the backend output modules, the TDX offers the possibility to broadcast a single IP multicast stream, MPTS, via the Link 2 output connector. You guessed it. The configuration of the backend output modules follows the same easy and straightforward GUI setup idea we have seen so far. For PAL, set the output channel or frequency. Set the aspect ratio. The audio language. The subtitles. And finally, select the TV service. You have all channels in the pool to choose from. For QAM, set the channel plan. The output channel or frequency. Set the modulation. And finally, select which radio and TV services you want in the multiplex. You have all channels in the pool available to choose from between the 4 adjacent QAM output channels of the backend module. For COFDM, set the channel plan. Set the channel or frequency. Set the modulation. And finally, select which radio and TV services you want in the multiplex. You have all channels in the pool available to choose from between the 4 adjacent COFDM output channels of the backend module. And for IPTV, you set the IP address plus the UDP port number and select which radio and TV services you want on that IP number. You have all channels in the pool to choose from, except those already selected on the same IP backend module. Radio and TV services in the pool can be shared in real time and in parallel between all output backend modules, but can only be used once per individual backend module. Let us go through the configuration of a scrambled TV service. The customer would like to receive BBC Brit Nordic in high definition. The service is found to be available on satellite Thor 5, which is on 1 degree west. Via a simple lookup to a web service, such as the Lingsat pages, we find the exact details for this channel. Then we write down the transponder, multiplex reception frequency, 11341 MHz, and its vertical polarization and the symbol rate of 25,000. It is a pay TV service. The output shall be DVB-C, or QAM, on channel 21, which is on 474 MHz. Next we decide where to put the input module, then insert it and connect the coax cable from the LNB or a multi-switch to it. Now, let us configure the input. We use a web browser to log into the TDX GUI. And select the input slot we connected our cable to. Now set the frequency, the polarization, the symbol rate, and press Update. When scanning has finished, select the service, BBC Brit HD. Notice the $, indicating Pay TV, Scrambled Service. Now press the Submit button. And apply, then the Apply button. The service is now placed into the pool. Then it's time to configure the Common Access Module, the CAM. We want to take the encrypted service from the pool and send it to the CAM module. It is placed on the backend. Click the CA main menu button. Choose the source, in this example the pool. And set the card speed. Choose the scrambled service BBC Brit HD. Notice I have selected the ER. The error recovery will monitor the descrambling. If errors occur, the CAM will be rebooted automatically. This clears more than 90% of all descrambling errors. But note that the CAM reboot will affect all services going to that specific CAM, but it will also save you from being called out to reset the module manually on site. Finally, click the Submit button. And then click the Apply button. The descrambled service will now be placed back into the pool. Now it is time to configure the back-end output. We want to take the decoded, decrypted service from the pool and send it to the backend module. Select the output menu item. Then set the channel plan. Enter the frequency we found earlier, the modulation, and choose whether you want services from the pool or transparently directly from the input modules. We want pool mode, which is selected here by the selection services. And finally we click the Services button. In the pop-up service list that appears, you choose the descrambled version of BBC Brit HD. And hit OK button. This is it. We have now configured the TDX to receive the satellite transponder carrying the BBC Brit HD service. We have configured the descrambling of the service and delivered it on the QAM output channel 21. Before we are done, don't forget to remove the check mark here. Otherwise the modulator we have just set up will be disabled, and you'll have no output at all. To finish you click the Submit button, and then the Apply button. This is it, and you are done. We have now configured the TDX to receive the satellite transponder carrying the BBC Brit HD service. We have configured the descrambling of the service and delivered it on the QAM output on channel 21. The default and standard features of the TDX will cover most installations. If extra features are needed, these can be enabled by purchasing and entering a license activation key for the specific feature. Licenses are registered and purchased via the TRIAX PRT, which is a web service. The licenses available are Dolby AC3 decoder for PAL output module, SNMP trap handling. This allows you to receive some 30 SNMP traps you may enable for monitoring. PID management. To enable a manual change of PID numbers, block PIDs, and more. Alternative EIT source. For example, to receive an external EIT or EPG Barker channel, or to enable the TDX to deliver one. Simulcrypt. To use the TDX to scramble services. This also requires an external TRIAX CA server. IPTV in and out. To activate the IP streaming feature. Once purchased, installed, and activated, a license is perpetual. This concludes the basic training and introduction of the TRIAX TDX Black Edition head-end product. Please refer to our website for more information, www.triax.com, or get in touch with your TRIAX key account salesperson. He will also be happy to provide details of the TRIAX Group Support TDX training courses, on both intermediate and advanced level. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you later in person in other TRIAX Group training courses.